Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and we're going to be reviewing all these units that we're talking about today, including Ignacio, Freesia, and Mellow. So here we are with Ignacio first. Infinite turns on his Brave Shift form, which is good. 300% TDH on both forms, which is impressive, because most units only have 200%. So you only need Cloud's TMR, the old Cloud's TMR. And also 25% Axe and Peril, which is nice. NVA chaining, so you can chain or be a finisher if you want him to be that way. 100% plant and beast killer, so Ifrit is good on him as a killer passive. And he also has AoE fire boost of 15% for all allies, and his Brave Shift Love Burst is 115 times mod with 150% or 100% Lilith Burst damage passive in a Brave Shift form. So he can be a Lilith Burst finisher if you want him to be, but there's some problems. There's some problems with Ignacio, unfortunately. His Axe and Peril really is only good for himself because there's not many people who use axes. Despite if you may use some arguments, well, oh, this person can equip axes, oh, this person can equip axes. Is that good for them? No, not typically. And generally with these Imperils, you want to imperil for more than just for your finisher or just for your chainers. Usually you want to do it for 3 people at least, right? For example, take my Chimera Clear, for example. Realm was rod imperiling for Fizzles and Terra at the same time, so it's more for that. Just Axe imperiling for himself is not going to do a whole lot, if you get what I mean. And there's been a lot of finishers lately, and he doesn't really seem to be all that worth it compared to other finishers, really. He just seems to be underpowered. He doesn't seem to really bring anything to the table that he already had. Basically, his Brave Shift form doesn't really do much. He just has some chaining, he has some finishing capabilities, and that's really it. He doesn't do anything else. Like, Rain already had the fire boost for all allies already as a support tool. And New Vision Rain is a lot older than this guy at this point. Unfortunately, Ignacio doesn't even have dual cast innately for all of his abilities in his normal form with his Neo Vision upgrade. He still has to use the other one, the contrived one, where you have to use, you can only use certain abilities or whatever. I know his FFBE unlocked a dual cast, but you have to unlock that too, I believe. So it's complicated. He's not as amazing as I would have liked to have seen it, because his sprite was amazing in his Brave Shift form. It's really unfortunate. Maybe he still has a chance of getting a Neo Vision Awakening on his original 5-star form. Maybe he'll be good then. But for this, I'm just gonna have to give him a 7 out of 10. Just the average score. He just isn't anything special. He's a finisher, but we have other finishers in the game they may have already been built. Unless you really like Ignacio, you like Big Daddy Ignacio, you like using axes on units, then go for it. But if you already have a finish, I wouldn't bother with using your resources to get them upgraded. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for Ignacio, unfortunately. Now we have Freesia. Freesia. Her STMR actually is something unique, at least on the JP side. Her STMR gives 50% Spirit TDH, I almost said Magic TDH. Spirit TDH. So that's quite good, right? That's quite good. She already has 200% Spirit TDH, so you have 250 with that. Pretty good. She has all the basic healing functions in terms of white magic. She also has status immunity, cooldown on a cooldown, also in the same cooldown, by the way. Magic and Spirit Break resist on the same cooldown. 5-turn duration and also 5-turn cooldown period. So that's pretty good. She has 50% physical, magical, undead mitigation, and also 100% AoE undead killer. So it's the same thing again, same cooldown. Very nice. 200% Spirit TDH like I mentioned. She has passive AoE. I don't really know how to word this correctly because this is something that I don't think this has ever happened before, really. Very rarely has a move like this. So basically, while she's on your team, you have a high chance, besides herself, anyone else on your team that gets hit with a physical attack will counter with a physical attack of their own. A 1x mod finish. It's not that high, but it's something. So it's an interesting counter attack move thing. Silence immunity, which is incredibly important for what we're going to be discussing. 50% magic immunity. 50% magic mitigation, I mean. And a lot of other kind of buffs and things. So she's one of those healers that's actually just using white magic, really, and not using abilities. So silence immunity, like I mentioned, is going to be very important for that. And her Element Burst cures status breaks like attack, magic, spirit, and defense. And it does a heal, and it does auto revive, AoE. So that's pretty good. She has a lot of other things like green magic, some green magic in there. And 100% Element Burst damage buff. Stuff like that. She has like a lot of other kind of small things. There's some things that she cannot do, unfortunately, like stop, cure, and charm. Can't prevent stop or charm. And you need to awaken some of her magic like enhancements. I don't know why that is. And her magic, she has a magic percentage passive, but she has no offensive spells. That's not really that much of a con, but I don't know why it's even there. Like, what's the point of that? So, all in all, she's your typical run-of-the-mill healer, but she's interesting. She has at least some interesting things about her. She has some things that a lot of other healers don't typically have anymore. So that's pretty cool. And also white magic healer. So I'm gonna give her an 8 out of 10. The thing that really drags her down is if you're stopped, you're screwed. So you need a way of. So there are some units nowadays that have stop and charm immunity, but not all of them do. So it really is a bummer that she doesn't have a way. Doesn't have a way of stopping that. Of course, you can use Locksmith to prevent some of that, but you can't always do that. So 8 out of 10 for this as a 7-star healer. It's not a Neo Vision healer, by the way. It's just a 7-star healer, so it's pretty good. An 8 out of 10 for a 7-star unit is pretty high. I gotta say, that's like monumentally high. Just saying. And now we have Mellow. We have Mellow here, guys. Infinite turns. He has a bolting strike and also Mystic Cross or CWA chaining frames. And wind and water chaining. Base form can be a Limit Burst chainer, and his Brave Shift form can be a Limit Burst finisher, similar to Fistless. In terms of finishing, that is. Silence immunity, which is also going to be very important going forward, guys. We're going to talk about that. His Brave Shift form, he has a magic boost similar to like the 4-star Warrior of Light buff, where if you keep using it, he'll get a magic buff every single time, and it can stack to 500%. That can also stack with 300% magic bonus, so you'll have 800% magic bonus for one turn only. It takes you several turns to get to this point, and you can dual cast or triple cast this, but it does take a while to get it. So he'll be hitting hard on that one turn, but after that, you have to build them back up again. So that 500 stack is only lasts for one action. So with that being in mind, he has 600%. I don't know why there's an up arrow there. Whoops. 600% chain cap or 6 times cap. 150% magic true to wield in both forms. 150% undead killer in both forms. 100% limit burst damage in his Brave Shift form. His Brave Shift form has a grandest ability that gives him 150% limit burst damage and also instant fill for him. His limit burst for both sides. So there's a con here that I'm going to be talking about shortly here, but yes, he is also someone who uses black magic. He has quad cast black magic. A lot of the black magic has been upgraded, guys. Flood actually imperils for water now, and a lot of other things too. So he has some black magic in there. Unfortunately, there are going to be some cons here. His black magic is not that good. It's really underpowered and just mostly not worth using. And he has no limit burst damage passively in his Brave Shift form, or in his normal form, sorry. And Undead Killer is very niche. So what you would normally probably do, if you want him to be a limit burst chainer, you could just use the Grandest ability in its reissued form and then shift back over if you want to do that. So, I don't know. The finishing capability for him is pretty interesting and turn 4 or 5, I think, because you could do. Here's what you could do. You could stack up that magic bonus, use the Limit Burst filled, and then finish with him while having Ferris on your team. I mean, if you want to have Ferris on your team, I'll just use Ferris. Like, if you're gonna really buff him up, because you could use Ferris to summon Leviathan, and since he can finish with water, you could finish with him with water, but like, that's a lot of this is a lot of investment, guys, to be a finisher. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to make him going, unfortunately. And last night we were talking, like, everybody was just saying it was going to be bad. But now that, apparently now you can stack that 500% magic bonus on top of the 300%, it's a little better. He's in a little better light now than he was, but it's a lot of investment to get him going. And really the best thing about him, honestly, is his STMR. It gives a lot of Limit Burst damage on a rod, which is pretty rare. So I'm gonna give him an 8. I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10 as well. He's a good magic chainer. He's a good finisher, but he just doesn't. He takes a lot of investment, guys. If you get what I'm trying to say. So overall, guys, I think this is a skip banner unless you want Freesia, but I think she might be UOC-able. So appreciate you guys being patient with this. This took a little bit of time because, you know, I'm still under the weather and I just got around to this. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this kind of video, please give a like. If you're new around here, please give a subscription to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. It's very important. It's not a meme. And if you watch all the way to the end of this video, make sure to type in #flood. #flood will be the keyword for the ending of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.